Hi, this is Carolyn Ball. Welcome. I'm here to talk to you about whole brain solutions. What is it that really helps people change? What is it that makes a difference in our lives so that we can live optimally? I want to talk a little bit about Robert Monroe because he was such an amazing man, and he's the person who brought this whole binaural beat technology into modern usage. Bob was a famous TV producer in New York City, but he was intrigued also with how people learn and eventually became very, very interested in how can we change consciousness, how can we change awareness. So he put together something called Monroe Institute, which is a nonprofit corporation that actually offers many programs utilizing this binaural beat technology. This gentleman named Dove back in the 1800s had discovered the binaural beat in the brain. And what that is that if you introduce one tone to one side or one ear, another tone to the other ear, and those tones are enough similar but not identical, what will happen is the brain itself will set up something called a binaural beat. And it's simply the brain switching back and forth, and we perceive that as maybe a slight warbling tone. Mostly we don't perceive it. It's something the brain does by itself. It's one of the amazing capacities that we have as human beings. So Bob discovered that if you introduce these slightly different tones, one to each ear, of course this would mean you have to hear it in stereo, that the brain will start to kind of wake up. And it will start using both sides of the brain much more actively. So there are pictures such as these of what we call brain mapping, or there are images of which parts of the brain are more active. And what they discovered is, unlike the random brain pictures that you see on one side, with the binaural beat, the brain is more and more lit up. Those lighter areas in the brain map show the central part of the brain, including the amygdala and the hippocampus, those parts that are so essential to help both sides of the brain communicate. Those areas are much more activated. And in fact, research tells us that in people who have been really traumatized as children, those areas can actually be smaller. They don't grow as much. So there's something about the binaural beat that really gets the brain up and functioning. I remember when I was younger hearing that we only use 10% of our brain. And I remember thinking, well, what's going on with the rest of the brain, and why aren't we using it, and how can we use it? Well, we do use more than 10% of our brain. But what an exciting idea of using the capacities, the capabilities of the brain that we all have that we're not really tapping into. So what I discovered when I was looking at the Monroe material and eventually getting involved in utilizing some of it for my own work is that we really have much greater capacity as human beings, and we can utilize those capacities, and the binaural beat technology helps wake up the whole brain. What's also nice about Robert Monroe's particular research and the work that he does is that you can target different brain states. So if you want to improve focus, you can target beta brain waves with the Hemi-Sync or the binaural beat. You can target alpha if you want more creativity, more general relaxation, or theta if you want to improve your creativity, have much deeper relaxation, deep meditations, and even delta. You can target deep sleep. So the binaural beat technology is a great improvement, you might say, or addition to the bilateral stimulation of EMDR, because it can target certain brain states. So what we have here is an incredible tool that can not only target specific brain states, but awaken the brain and enliven the brain and utilize parts of the brain that we generally don't use. So what's interesting about Bob Monroe's work was that many scientists, researchers, physicians, some really top-notch people in the 60s, 70s, and 80s became extremely interested in Bob Monroe's work. He got a lot of support from many professionals, many scientists. So his Hemi-Sync, as he called his binaural beat technology, was very highly researched. And his approach was to research certain people who had certain abilities and skills, who could really focus their brains, who could be really relaxed, who had very strong intuitive abilities, who were very happy. He would research the folks that had excellent mental abilities, understand what mixes of beta, alpha, theta, and delta they were utilizing, and then create a technology with the binaural beat that was very specific to states that he wanted, to the states that he wanted to create. So there are many others who do binaural beat technology today, but none of them really have the type of research base that the Hemi-Sync has. But there are other ways that a person can utilize the binaural beat. In fact, there's even binaural beat generators today. There are apps for your phone with binaural beat. There are Brain Sync, Holosync, Brain Power, Equisync, different binaural beat technology. I'm not familiar with all of them, but I do know that many, many years that Bob Monroe put into Hemi-Sync offers a refinement to the science that I haven't seen other places. In any case, so we had talked originally about these 4 different approaches, and one was mindfulness, which sometimes we call meditation, but it's a whole form of therapy now. It's used in hospitals. So mindfulness is generally just being aware of your own mind, your own body, your emotions. And then we talked about the cognitive approaches, or positive thinking, or your thoughts create your reality. And I've worked for quite some time in training people in something I called reprogramming, or looking at the typical things we are saying to ourselves and very consciously, with a certain kind of technique, changing the negative or useless thought patterns into ones that are much more productive. It's not only positive thinking, it's you saying the truth to yourself in an empowering way. So reprogramming, or cognitive approaches to making changes, that is central. Then we have the EMDR, as we talked about. There is a gentleman named Bessel van der Kolk. I'm really a fan of his. He founded a place called the Trauma Center in Boston. It's one of the most amazing places where people can really go through trauma, change, really heal from traumas, psychological trauma, emotional trauma. Bessel said of the EMDR one time, what a profoundly, and I don't have the exact quote, but along the lines of, this is such a profoundly useful and simple technology, we should have invented it years ago. But here it is now today, and it's available to us in the form of EMDR. I call it hemi-tapping because I utilize just a simple basic left-right, left-right, left-right tapping to awaken both hemispheres. And then the Hemi-Sync, because I work with both of those, I've put them together, and I've come out with a combination of Hemi-Sync and the cognitive, or reprogramming, so that we overlay to the Hemi-Sync or the binaural beat technology specific beliefs, thoughts, affirmations that go with a particular issue that you want to work on. So you've got Hemi-Sync going on, waking up the brain, balancing the brain, along with the affirmations that really target what beliefs tend to be negative and flip them and make them positive. So come join me on my website. Find out more about these wonderful technologies that really make a difference in our lives. You will find there some articles about whole brain technologies. You will find information about some of the ways you can apply whole brain solutions to your life, to your work, to your personal life, to your family. You'll also find some books there. My book that I mentioned before, Claiming Your Self-Esteem, and also something called Blessings in Disguise. It's a wonderful adventure with a Native American elder who I traveled with for a while. And then there's my 5 CDs that I'm very, very excited about, because they do combine the technology of Hemi-Sync with the reprogramming process. So the first one is called Claiming Yourself, and it's about your self-esteem, self-empowerment, having confidence in yourself, really believing in yourself as a wonderful, magnificent human being that you are. The second one is called Emerging from Depression and Anxiety. This one couples the specific beliefs that people have when they have depression and anxiety, flipped to being the empowering version of those, giving a person a real hope, real belief in themselves, real knowledge that they can do what they need to do in a calm and clear way. They can trust themselves to be able to work out their solutions in their lives and really live effectively. The third one is called Creating Success. Now, creating success is a lot of fun because it isn't specific to just making money, but it's certainly useful for that, but also just seeing yourself as the successful person that you can be, teaching you how to fulfill the dreams that you have, the aspirations that you have, by truly, truly applying that technology of empowering thoughts into your life so that you can do whatever you want, feel successful about whatever you want to feel successful about. The third one is called Weight Loss with Hemi-Sync. Again, we've got typical belief systems that go with overweight. There's certain, people say overweight is a physical issue. It's really not. It's an emotional issue. How do we change our beliefs and our thoughts and our feelings about ourselves so we feel satisfied, so we feel fulfilled, and we don't have to be filling ourselves all the time? So we're addressing all of these beliefs and issues and thoughts within this CD coupled with the Hemi-Sync. And the last one is called Breaking Free from Addictions. And this CD, as well as all the other CDs, aren't the be-all and end-all, but they are incredible adjuncts to really simplifying any kind of healing process or focus process that you need to go through, so that breaking free from addictions really will give you a foundation for getting free and for really trusting and loving yourself and knowing that you're good enough the way you are, and that you can heal your issues within yourself without adding on other addictive processes or substances. So these whole brain solutions are applicable to all different areas of our lives. I myself have downloaded quite a few CDs onto an MP3. I'll just hook up and go about my day, and I find that within a very short amount of time, if I felt a little sluggish, a little slow, a little discontent, sad, whatever, the Hemi-Sync tends, by activating the whole brain, to pick us up and help us be really clear in what we're doing. It can be used for ADD. It's actually been used for surgery to help shorten and lessen the amount of anesthesia. It's been used in daycare centers with children when it's nap time. It's been used in all different kinds of applications for being more effective, more efficient, and happier in life. So come join me on my website and find out more about this incredible technology and the whole brain solutions that can really change your life in such a simple and easy way. Thank you for joining me today.